Hi, good morning and welcome to the Teacher Educator Conference 2015 in Hyderabad, and I'm very pleased to be joined by Tim Phillips and John Shackleton. Both of you just given your talk on CPD frameworks, and in particular the new British Council Global Teacher Framework and the Teacher Educator Framework. I'd just like to ask you a few questions about that, if that's okay. Obviously in your talk you looked at how frameworks can be a useful tool for improving teacher quality. I was wondering if you could just kind of summarise some of the ways that you feel frameworks can be used.
Well, obviously they offer you a chance to evaluate yourself, so they provide some detail about what teaching consists of, and so then you can look at, well, do I actually do that? So I think it supports the teacher themselves in being able to do that. I think also another point we were talking about was the common language, that you're actually giving people a common point of reference, so that they can also compare with other people and begin to see how they relate to other people and how their standards and understanding relates to other people.
Yeah, and I think also the location of resources as well. It's a great organising tool for that purpose. And I think one of the things that Tim was talking about in the presentation we've just done was this idea of a pathway, an idea of a vision of where you want to get to, that kind of thing. And you know, that's clearly very important in terms of helping teachers to develop, help them to meet the learning outcomes of their students. So good.
Okay, and I mean, in terms of the British Council's CPD framework, you talked a little bit through the process and the components, the elements, and the professional practices. Could you kind of maybe talk a little bit about the process and how the process of developing the framework has evolved?
It's been very long.
It's been a very long process, indeed. I mean, where did it kind of originate from? Where did it start from, and how has it evolved to where it is now?
Well, one of the important things about frameworks is that if you're developing one, you need to create a sense of ownership. So I think that's been the key. It's creating a sense of ownership. So it started in India, so clearly it was owned in India. Taking it further, making sure that people are engaged with it, both inside the British Council and outside the British Council. Getting expert advice, because there's already a lot of writing and research and evidence around this. So making sure that we understand that and we incorporate that into our thinking. But then it is a process, so we've got to a certain point, and there's a further process, because when we actually release it for wider use, then there's a further process of ownership among teachers as a whole, within the British Council, and among the wider sort of educational ELT community.
That's right, and I think the other thing which makes the process longer is that we have to get it really as the best possible thing that we can do, and that incorporates taking on board the opinions of everybody else. Because if you get it wrong and you've mapped all of your resources onto it, then you have to go back. So the process also includes that kind of the quality assurance side of things. The making sure that what we've done, it really is the best, the best product that we can get out there.
I mean, it's interesting. Obviously, I'm kind of very involved in the process as well, and just that idea of ownership that you mentioned, and the idea of this kind of collaboration with the people who ultimately are going to be using the framework is a key thing. And as you say, it's you have to get that right, and in order to do that, you need to be speaking with teachers, speaking with teacher educators, and
there's too much of a record with frameworks being imposed, because another aspect of their use is the use by ministers of education as partly a means of raising standards and of developing standards, but also partly a means of control. And so, unless teachers themselves feel that there's ownership, and that's where the idea of taking responsibility for your own professional development is key. Unless you manage to do that, then people are reluctant to be engaged.
I think also, I mean, it's answering a basic, fundamental question. You know, what does being a competent teacher actually consist of? And that kind of question, I mean, you know, every single person has got the diversity of opinion around that. So in order to bring all of those things together in a way that you know, everybody is going to feel in some way happy and comfortable and own it, and that you know, the danger that you're talking about of using it as a form of control, you know, that all of those things have to be fed into it, and it's you know, everybody's got a different opinion on it. You know, it just takes a long time.
Okay. I mean, one of the things that we've just been talking about is the process of developing it. Once it's kind of out there and able to be used by teachers, by teacher educators, the kind of the essence, if you like, of the idea with the process is ownership, and obviously that hopefully will sort of translate into use, and teachers feeling motivated to use it and to develop as teachers with it. How do you, I mean, in terms of when it is available, in terms of teachers using it, how do you see that happening, and how do you see that process continuing, so that, you know, in years to come, there's still that sort of motivation for teachers to take responsibility really for their professional development? How does that?
Well, one of the aspects of CPD is, and of effective CPD is the need for a reward. That teachers need to feel it's having a direct reward. So within education systems, that can be financial reward, or some kind of credit system, or certification, various things like that. So I mean, I think all those are part of the mix, and we want to work with ministries with the framework. So, you know, we hope that ministries will understand the need that teachers just can't be expected without those kind of rewards. And then from sort of a global point of view, in terms of engaging digitally, also to provide some of those kind of you know, useful things that teachers have, so certification, badges, that sort of stuff. And also, I think the other point is to emphasise that the ultimate reward for a teacher is really seeing their learners do well, and that this is contributing to this. So there's also that sense of their own mission as teachers.
And I think, from the point of view of the other project that I've been working on, the Quality Standards Programme, I mean, one of the functions of the framework that we've been putting together will be to inform schools about what they have to do to help their teachers develop professionally, and that it will be an organisational tool, an organising tool at that institutional level. And you know, my experience in India is that there's professional development going on and being organised for school teachers, but it doesn't have an underlying rationale necessarily. It doesn't have a kind of a coherency to it, which this framework will bring and provide.
Okay, Tim, John, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Great,
Thank you very
very
much,
much indeed. Thank you. Okay, bye now. Bye.